Sam setting it back. I imagine he'd really only do that if he had no lands or maybe like 5 or 6 lands.
And
there.
excess of lands, yeah. He definitely only needs like 3 or 4 lands to operate with this deck. He does need to cast his War Leader's Helix and his Boros Reckoners, but his Nykthos can really kind of take control of that mess. Oh, both decks are
both decks mulliganing. I believe we had a present. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so
Both
Isaac taking a mulligan as well here. So we're on 6-6 here, and I'll get this life total updated for you.
How did that happen?
I don't know. Okay, and Isaac leading off with a swamp.
Golgari Guildgate, actually.
Oh, is that Gargoyle Guildgate? I'm sorry.
And then we have a swamp shortly after. I think it's a Golgari Guildgate. I might be mistaken.
Then we have a Sacred Foundry on the other side, and a Temple into play tapped, scrying.
So pretty slow starts from both players. There are a lot of cards in these decks that on their 1 and 2, but not seeing any of those cast. But everybody hitting the land drops in a timely manner.
And it looks like this is going to be a Hammer of Perforos from Sam.
Seems like a very good card in this matchup.
And
quickly removal spell. I'm guessing an Abrupt Decay?
Yeah, I think it was an Abrupt Decay. It could have been a Golgari Charm too.
Oh, and that's a card I didn't...
Though I wouldn't suspect that would be in the main deck of Isaac's deck, though it could be.
Yeah, I think it was Abrupt Decay. And that's a sweet card from Sam's side of the field if we're able to cast it. Stormbreath Dragon.
Absolutely. We got Thoughtseize here. We see 2 Reckoners, Mizzium Mortars. We see Stormbreath Dragon. One of those Reckoners will be removed from Sam's hand. Isaac probably thinking, hey, he's only got 3 mana. I'll deal with that Stormbreath Dragon later. Let's get rid of this Boros Reckoner. As you see, he's going to play a Pack Rat here. Did not want to play the Pack Rat against Boros Reckoner game.
Yeah, Pack Rat, a very good card, but slightly worse when you're facing off a Boros Reckoner. And of course, the Thoughtseize there is able to get rid of a possible removal spell, but it looked like Sam got one off the top anyway.
Yeah, actually, I believe he had that Mortars in his hands before, and Isaac just chose not to take it.
Oh, really?
But I believe so. And we see a Life-Bane Zombie taking out a Boros Reckoner, Ash Cell out from Sam, getting in for 2, dropping Isaac to 18. Yeah, I believe he just opted to not take it. Maybe just running out the Pack Rat as bait, saying like, hey, I'd rather have a Life-Bane Zombie here.
Ash Cell was able to get through damage for 2, so that'll bring Isaac down to 16.
It's very possible Isaac may have another Pack Rat in his hand, and that's why he did that. To lure out the Mizzium Mortars, it almost forces Sam's hand at that point.
Yeah.
Burn the good card on the Pack Rat, which is essentially useless if you have a Pack Rat on the field already. So we'll see. We'll see what Isaac's plan is in this game.
Not a lot of Mizzium Mortars isn't a very good card against the mono black deck when you're facing down like a demon or something like that. So
no, not at all.
I don't think he really cares if he 1-for-1s the Pack Rat there, but I maybe would like to see taking the Mizzium Mortars and just trying to ride that Pack Rat.
Mm-hmm. And Life-Bane Zombie getting in. We have another Thoughtseize from Isaac, bringing him down to 14. And
have you seen that signature before on that Frostburn Weird?
I have not.
It is, I think his name is Mike Bierk. He does the art for the new breeding pool and the new stone floors, and I have seen people get furious after he signed their cards.
Does he sign it right over the face of the card?
Yeah, and it's like it looks kind of like a hieroglyphic, and so people are just want like an actual signature, and they get this like hieroglyphic on their card that they like foil Stoneforge or something, and you want to get it signed, and then it's just this really ugly signature. But some people like it. I'm not sure.
That's pretty gross. I would be bad if that happened to my foil Stoneforge music. And it looks like we have a Devour Flesh. I believe that is most likely in response to that Frostburn Weird, or no, maybe it's just the end of turn. He's just letting him choose there. Maybe he's thinking, hey, I'd rather have him sacrifice that Frostburn Weird. I'll just give him the option so he can make a mistake.
Yeah, and he actually does end up sacrificing Ash Shell and keeping the Frostburn Weird. Frostburn Weird not
probably correct.
Probably correct. But I actually might have liked to see keeping the Ash Cell. I think
just
it's more
because he's choked on mana right now, not going to be wanting to sink mana into that Frostburn Weird anytime soon.
It's more. I think it's more of an aggressive card, and he's not actually going to be able to block any of the creatures that Isaac's putting out.
And you see Isaac with the Desecration Demon. Samwise is still stuck on 3 mana. He's got that Stormbreath Dragon sitting in his hand, unable to cast it. And even if he did, it is smaller than that Desecration Demon. Advantage Isaac here?
Definitely advantage Isaac. Even though he's at 12, Isaac's been kind of able to punish the mulligan that Sam took with 2 Thoughtseize and just play threats that he's going to have a hard time dealing with. So definitely advantage Isaac here.
I believe Isaac is going to combat here. Sam looks like he's thinking about whether or not he wants to sacrifice a creature to stop that Desecration Demon, and he does not, and Isaac's just going to crash in here for 9, bringing Sam to 7.
So not very many outs here. I think Sam's looking for possibly a Nykthos,
and he gets it. So Nykthos can be able to tap for 4 mana, the 5th one off of the temple, casting the Stormbreath Dragon. That's one of the better draws he could have at this point. Crashing in with the team, because he cannot block any of Isaac's creatures for 7 points of damage.
So now actually
Isaac to 5. Wow.
Yeah, with no removal spell, Isaac's going to go to 5. And Sam.
And that Desecration Demon's going to be tapped down.
Yeah, Sam's going to be able to sacrifice maybe his Frostburn Weird or his Burning Tree Emissary to tap down that Desecration Demon next turn. And Isaac is in a tight position here.
And actually, Samwise, he will most likely have to sacrifice a creature here. But, and I believe that is another Devour Flesh.
Bile Blight, actually.
Bile Blight.
So that'll.
Taking out
the
Burning Tree Emissary.
The Burning Tree Emissary. So I think we actually didn't take 2 there. I think it's 7 all. But this might be enough to race if we see. What can we see from Sam's side? I guess a Burn Spell.
A Gray Merchant, of course, would certainly help him out here, stabilize him a little bit against that Stormbreath Dragon. I assume he's just going to get in here with this Lifebane Zombie. Not going to play around a card like Ash Salwat, which could possibly chump here. Just get in damage. But yeah, Isaac in a little bit of a tricky spot here. That Stormbreath Dragon, dropping him to 4, puts him in range of cards like Skullcrack, puts him in range of cards like Lightning Strike. A lot of things out of Samwise that could finish this game.
Yeah, definitely.
War Leader's Helix.
Double Ash Zealot. I'm sure he would have played one of those out by now, but it could happen.
And I believe that last card in Samwise's hand is unknown.
I think it actually. Did he have 2 Boros Reckoners in his hand?
He did. One got Thoughtseize and one got eaten by the Lifebane Zombie.
Oh, okay. So both those Reckoners gone. So yeah, I think we do have an unknown card here.
And it is a Thoughtseize again, taking out Fanatic of Mogus. That's a good card for Samwise to not have in his hand.
Yeah, definitely
for Mr. Isaac.
Definitely want to finish off the game there.
Dropping him to 5, however, that Stormbreath Dragon, if Samwise has any damage here, he will be able to finish this game. He's going to attack with that Stormbreath. Dropping Isaac to 1. Does he have anything? It is Boros Reckoner. Okay. That's a creature you can sacrifice that, tap down that Desecration Demon.
And this is kind of the point we wish we had a hand cam. What's going on in Isaac's head? What we're going to see here in the next couple turns,
and Isaac does not have a removal spell for that Reckoner. Taps down the Desecration Demon. Sam untaps and draws quickly, and Isaac reveals 2 lands. Samwise taking a very close game with Red White Burn.
Yeah, not the way I thought the game was going within the first couple of turns. Sam, of course, both of them being on a mulligan, but Isaac having the cards like Thoughtseize to kind of punish the mulligan a little bit more. So then,
yeah, Sam stuck on lands for most of that game, but that Stormbreath Dragon down
was very important. And of course, taking the 6 damage, so he had enough devotion, playing to his outs a little bit, having enough devotion so he could actually play the Stormbreath Dragon next turn if he did, in fact, top deck the Nykthos.
Absolutely. You saw him run out that Burning Tree Emissary right away to just get a creature on the board, top decking the Reckoner at the end to walk down the Desecration Demon from killing him, and Isaac with no removal spell died to the Stormbreath Dragon on the swingback.
So every edge there kind of gave Sam that game.
Absolutely, yeah. He gave himself some draws, and he drew them.
Yeah. So what do we expect to kind of see from both sides of the field here?
Well, I imagine the mono black deck is going to mostly revolve around trying to take the game later, control those Storm Breath Dragons. Golgari Charm, I don't know. It could take out a Hammer of Perforos, but I don't feel like there's enough targets in Sam's deck to justify it, though he may have a Chain to the Rocks. It's a card that he might actually won't be able to deal with.
Yeah, and he does have some amount of Abrupt Decay's main board, and his other removal spells are probably hitting his creatures, so the Abrupt Decay can't just be hitting the Hammer of Perforos, can't just be hitting the Chain to the Rocks.
Maybe you just want Abrupt Decay to deal with those creatures, leave out the Golgari Charm, or do you want to have the Abrupt Decays for cards like Ash Zealot or...
I don't know if you want the redundancy on the removal spells. If the redundancy you're bringing in is only hitting enchantments.
Right.
So I think maybe not Golgari Charms here, but definitely a possibility. I just don't think it's as optimal as it could be. But Chain to the Rocks from Sam's side of the field seems really good.
Yep, being able to lock down a Desecration Demon, just kill a huge threat that's holding all your guys back.
Right.
So it can run you into trouble if, swing with the guys. Abrupt Decay, that Chain to Rocks, Desecration Demon coming back, eating a Storm Breath Dragon.
Something of the sort, yeah.
That could definitely pose some problems.
I've also seen from this deck not having mountains, which is kind of weird. It's a base red deck, and sometimes they just have like Mana Confluence, Temple of Triumph,
Skylands.
Yeah,
they've got the Mutavaults.
Yeah, so a bunch of ways that it's not actually having a mountain in play, and it can't use its Chain to Rocks. Nykthos, yeah, just a bunch of non basics that aren't mountains.
Not having mountains in the mono red deck, almost mono red.
Almost mono red. Yeah, I think. What is our white in there? I think main board we
Chain
have
to the Rocks, War Leader's Helix.
Iroas we saw there.
Iroas.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably some sideboard cards.
Definitely. So like not a lot of white there. Not having mountains is kind of a little bit ridiculous. What do we expect to see else from the mono black deck though? I think there has to be something, maybe some more removal spells.
Do you think he would want to board in a card like the Whip of Erebos? Just say, hey, this is a card. It can possibly give me a ton of life, and just I'm at low life total. I'm gonna gain 6 life with a Desecration Demon, blank a couple of burn spells, and just take the game.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a good sideboard plan if he's also citing in more removal. If he's just supplementing his deck with more removal to the point where like he wants the game to go longer, then yes. If he's not really citing in more removal and is just trying to race him with like demons and have like some of his spot removal that we saw in game 1, then maybe not the Whip Erebos is the best card, because tapping out on like turn 4 or something, if you don't have any threats in hand and you're just kind of playing Whip of Erebos to play Whip of Erebos, it's not very good.
Right, it does a gay card with the possibility.
And the mono black deck isn't incredibly threat dense. It has a fair amount of creatures, but in comparison to Sam's deck, he definitely doesn't. He's not the creature deck in this matchup.
Right, and you don't want to play like land, play possibly something like a Pack Rat and just have it, take a Lightning Strike and then have a Whip of Erebos with a couple Doom Blades in your hand. You're like, well, this card does nothing.
Yeah, definitely, especially against a deck that's really attacking your life total.
Of course, you could have it in play and then be whipping back Gray Merchants, and then you're in Happy Land.
Yeah, Magical Fairyland is what I like to call it. Magical Christmas Land.
Magical Christmas Land against the Red White Burn deck. We see Sam and Isaac drawing their opening hands. Last game we saw Mole 6 for both players. Hopefully they'll have a little bit better hands here. Samwise up a game 2. And it looks like Sam's going to send this one back.
So Sam being able to take it there on 6, even after 2 Thought Seizes. So I think this red-white deck actually might mulligan better than I thought it did.
Right, originally we thought it was playing more of a complete burn strategy. Now we've seen it actually does have a lot of creatures going a little bit more devotion-y. We see a hand from Isaac, but kind of missing the camera there. I believe a Desecration Beam was the only card that I caught for sure.
I watched him do it.
So we have a Desecration Demon in hand. Not a bad card against this.
Not a bad card. 6 flyer for 4. Blocks the Storm Breath Dragons for days.
Blocks Storm Breath Dragon, maybe forces you to sack some creatures that you didn't want to, just to get through damage.
Absolutely. And it's just big enough where, if you land it, and you have a couple of removal spells for backup, you can actually get into a realistic racing situation against these aggressive red decks.
Definitely. 6 power for 4 is nothing to scoff at. I mean,
Not at all.
even when Desecration Demon staring down Apollo Kranos just doesn't really care that much.
And it's a great blocker. I mean, it's so hard to be able to sacrifice creatures to attack through it, you know?
Definitely.
The 4-mana Anthem that makes your opponent sacrifice a creature every turn is... And we see a shuffle some Samwise here. Maybe Isaac decided to mulligan that?
No, I think he still has a hand there.
Huh.
So we'll get a Scry Temple of Malady, looks like. And that's kind of another reason why we see mono black a lot of times now splashing another color, is because it's kind of free. With the Scry lands, you get a little bit of card advantage there.
Yeah.
And then you're just getting a free color, which gives you like better sideboard options, and possibly even more removal main board. Like we see in this deck, we get the Abrupt Decays.
And we see a Thoughtseize from Isaac, looking at a hand of Nykthos, Burning Tree Emissary, Azelot, Perforos, Assemble the Legion, and a second Nykthos. Sam's in a bit of trouble here. Those Nykthoses are not going to be able to cast those, the Emissary. The mountain comes off the
come
top.
on! Every
Samwise
time.
with the Azelot, getting in for 2. Combined with that Thoughtseize is going to drop Isaac to 16. Whew, that mountain was a good draw for Samwise.
Very good draw. Do we have a Burning Tree Emissary in hand there too? Or is that just an Ash Salad that I mistook for one?
I believe we had a Burning Tree Emissary.
Burning Tree Emissary into Nykthos here could be an explosive turn. We did see Burning Tree Emissary.
Their Burning Tree Emissary is adding a red and a green to his mana pool. And Samwise, is that I believe most likely Devour Flesh in response to that Burning Tree Emissary. I couldn't quite catch it. Sorry, you've got the graveyard off the camera there. We're just gonna check for you exactly what that was here. Samwise with the Nykthos, passing the turn. Was that a Devour Flesh?
It was a Devour Flesh. It was in response to the triggered ability that Burning Tree Emissary creates.
Okay. So he decided to not go after the Ash Zealot specifically there.
Yeah, but still wanted to cut him off Nykthosing for an obscene amount of mana.
Right. And we see Desecration Demon from an Isaac. We see Chain to the Rocks taking out that Desecration Demon, dropping him to 12.
And this could, again, as you said when we were talking about sideboards, be kind of a blowout for Sam. Even though Chain to the Rocks is a really efficient removal spell, an Abrupt Decay on that could spell doom for Sam.
Right, if he runs into an Abrupt Decay or a Golgari Charm here on his attack step there, Desecration Demon going to enter the battlefield, eat the Ash Zealot. That would be quite the reversal in this game. That Samwise, looked like he was in trouble there on turn 2 without the second red source. Right off the top it came. Nykthos into play, and now Sam's going to be rolling in the Stormbreath Dragons, the Perforoses, as we can see here, Perforos coming down for Sam. And we see a Devour Flesh again, taking out that Ash Zealot combat, and a Pack Rat from Sam. So Isaac, content to, from Isaac.
Yeah.
Content to just play the removal spell game here.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when he lands a Pack Rat. I would like to have seen a third land before, or fifth land, so we can activate the Pack Rat in the same turn we play it. But
Samwise not having the answer here. I believe that is Mutavault.
I actually don't know.
It's a little hard to see there. Sorry, guys, with the glare. We'll check on that for you. And Samwise, with no removal spell for that Pack Rat, Isaac is going to be able to activate it, making the rats.
So yeah, that is a Mutavault in play.
Which of note is a rat, which can be tapped to pump the Pack Rats.
Yeah, Mutavault, definitely a really good card. When I first saw it was getting reprinted, I was kind of trying to think of the applications it could be used for. The coolest ones that I think are like Zathra Necromancer is pretty good. If you want, after a Wrath, you just want to get a 2/2 zombie, or you get a 2/2 zombie from it. Pack Rat, of course, being one of the better ones. Just tapping itself to pump all your other rats. Very good. There's just a ton of application for it, and also it's just a 2/2 body.
Right.
on a land.
By itself. Isaac making a rat before damage there to hit Samwise for 2, not tapping his Mutavault. I guess he's just going to keep it back, maybe to fight something. Maybe he's got a spell in hand he wants to cast here, like a Doomblade. We see a Reckoner from Sam, triple red. Quite the card with Perforos there. I believe he needs one more devotion to turn that on, so this Chain to the Rocks is not a red card. And we see a Doomblade just taking out the Reckoner there. And yeah, this seems like exactly what Isaac wants to do in this situation. Just stop him from getting devotion, make rats. Is he animating the Mutavault there, getting in with the Mutavault and the 2/3/3 rats at this point for a potential 8, potentially more. Before damage, he will discard a card, making another rat. Those rats are now 4/4s. He should come in for 10.
Yeah, coming in for 10. So definitely changing the pace of this game. We saw him on the back foot playing, not on the back foot, but playing a lot of removal spells, and then eventually playing a pack rat and just really taking control of the game with this pack rat.
So Sam's key to victory here, I feel like he needs to turn on that Perforos. So I feel like something, like Burning True Emissary, Boros Reckoner, Hammer would possibly, Hammer Perforos would be really good, give himself haste, but
looks
nope.
like that was that's the game there.
Looks like he doesn't have anything for it. Isaac Smith gonna take game 2 against the red-white devotion deck. Brings it up to 1-1.
Wow, really fast couple of games.
Yeah.
For these two decks that are kind of intended to go later than the aggressive decks that we saw in round 2.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, kind of a really decisive couple of actions there. The 2 Devour Flushes into Pack Rat. Not a lot of decks.
That Pack Rat mopped up that game extremely quickly.
Yeah, it being a 1/1 that could be removed, and Sam didn't have the removal spell, so it just went. I'm a 3/3. I have 2 4/4s, and then you're dead.
Yep, I believe it hit him for 3, and then 12, and then scoop.
Yeah.
So Pack Rat, pretty good card. Even against those aggressive decks, just being able to power out Wrath with Mutavault super quickly, discard the useless cards, discard the extra lands.
It's kind of crazy how long it took for that card to actually be played for how good it was in Limited.
Yeah, it was in Standard for at least a year, right?
Yeah, about a year until it got played in the Mono Black deck. When Grey Merchant got printed, they started playing.
Right, top 8'd the Pro Tour.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, Pack Rats.
Taking everywhere.
Down games.
Yeah. Even in some of the, I see it sometimes in like the Esper mid-range deck, they'll just like side in Pack Rats. Which is kind of weird because it's a base blue-white deck, but then they're siding in Pack Rats, and just that card itself can just win games if you don't take care of it.
Fun fact about Pack Rat, Pithing Needle. Not the best answer, as it cannot shut off the Pack Rat tokens because they are not cards.
Really?
True.
That is very interesting.
So if you can get it before they make a token, no more Pack Rats. If they have a token, they can still make Pack Rats off their Pack Rat token.
That is quite hilarious. I actually didn't know that. I might have gotten blown out by
Came up in Limited once. Ravnica.
Really? Limited?
Someone had a Pithing Needle. Someone had a Pack Rat. It was Pithing Needle versus Pack Rat, and Pithing Needle was not victorious.
That is very sad. Yeah. I've actually almost seen somebody beat a Pack Rat in Limited, which is like not easy if they just go like turn 2 Pack Rat and you don't have the removal spell, because like the removal spell's
not easy at all.
It's like Electrickery or Mizium Mortars, so you have like a chance at an okay rare, or an okay common, or like a good rare, but like it's a rare. But the guy actually just like kind of was trading off, and the guy just kept on swinging into it, and then eventually
just like ran out of cards, and that was it. It's beatable. I had someone play a Drainpipe Vermin on turn 1, and I was like, okay. Then he played a Pack Rat, and it was a 2/2, and it made me sad.
Oh my gosh, Dreampipe Vermin is a rat.
Tribal Rats.
Tribal Rats in Ravnica Limited. Too good.
Pack Rat. I have bad memories of that card in Limited. I was on the receiving end of that card way more than I was on the giving end. And
most definitely.
It was a sad story. Why don't we check in? We have Red-White Devotion against Mono Black. They're still shuffling here.
I've actually went to GP Denver, which was like last January, so over about a year and a half ago, and a guy in a sealed pool in a side event I was doing, because I scrubbed out really hard, had 2 Pack Rats in a sealed pool, and actually went 0-2 and dropped. I do not know how that happened.
Yikes.
In the same tournament, actually, too, I played against Cedric Phillips in that sealed event. And he got me with a Rakdos Lord of Riots. He was he's talking to me about it afterwards too. He's like, I was hoping you didn't see this little glint in my eye when I was swinging with, because I could have blocked his guy, but I didn't block, and he's like, I dealt damage, Rakdos Mortar Riots.
No. I had a Desecration Demon or Rakdos Mortar Riots in my pre-release pack for Ravnica,
Oh god.
and I played them, and they were very good.
Well, Desecration Demon seems almost unbeatable too.
Yeah, I had 2/6/6 flyings for 4. It was a good time.
Yeah, those are crazy, crazy times when you get to play 6/6s Unlimited.
Yeah, Ravnica Limited was sweet.
Ravnica Limited was very fun.
I feel like when Gatecrash came out, it was, not as good. It was kind of awkward with the guilds because you'd have like 1 Gatecrash pack and 2 Ravnica packs.
Definitely, it was kind of felt like Shards of Alara. You had to play 3 colors.
Yeah.
With not a lot of fixing. You had like key runes as an uncommon, and you had some gates, but like it really didn't make it that much easier.
Then the Dragon's Maze came out, and I think it got a little bit different. But then it kind of got crazy with the clue stones and everything else.
Yeah, but at that point, it just became like race tier 7 drop, I guess.
Yeah, whoever can land the Tristani Summoner first.
Yeah, or the Vitu-Ghazi Guildmage or something. Those cards
Oh
are
god.
really good.
Oh no. That brings up Vitu-Ghazi Guildmage brings up so bad memories. I remember that beating my pack rat because I had 7 7/7 pack rats out. This wasn't sealed.
Okay.
And my opponent had Vitu-Ghazi Guildmage, and I was destroying him, but then he used the Celestial Land. I think it makes an 8/8 Vigilance.
Yeah, the Grove of the Guardian.
Yeah. And then he started populating that. And so then he just had a million 8/8s out, and I lost.
That's very sad.
And it made me really sad.
So he ended up drafting a Vitu-Ghazi Guildmage and a Grove of the Guardian, and had both in play at the same time.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
And then he killed me. And it looks like Sam is going to take another mulligan here. So mulligan all 3 games. He was able to get there in game 1. Game 2, not so much.
And definitely, like, the red-white deck doesn't want to be on the mulligan, but I think a mulligan's a little bit better than I gave it credit for. It still has pretty aggressive cards.
Just
that
high
are
impact
very
cards.
High impact, aggressive, very efficient cards. So we could see a pretty good game here despite Sam's mulligan.
And Isaac looks like he'll be fine with his.
Yeah, and that's like kind of the good thing about the mono black deck is it's very consistent. It just has all its threats are like fairly similar. They're all good in a lot of matchups, and so really the only thing that changes between your pre and post board are the amount of removal spells you're playing in comparison to the amount of like discard spells you're playing.
Right, and Pack Rat, a card that lets you keep a lot more hands. 5 lands Pack Rat card. Hey,
That's pretty keepable, especially if that card's a Thoughtseize.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've lost to turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Pack Rat.
Oh, it looks like we're going to have a mulligan for Isaac as well. And so a mulligan for both players here. Sorry, it's a little bit hard to tell. He's holding his hand off camera there on the left. But it looks like we have a 6 from both players. And we're going to have a keep. Samwise off with the Scryland. She's going to keep a card on top.
I've been kind of singing praises about these Scrylands. Really, just the turn 1 Scryland is just puts you pretty far ahead against your opponent if they don't have theirs. Just on turn 1, being able to kind of sift the top of your library, set up your next draw. Very good card. Very good.
Another Scryland. We saw Thoughtseize. What did it take out there? I couldn't quite see. We'll go check on that for you guys. A Scryland for Isaac Smith there, keeping a card on top. He's splashing green for Abrupt Decay. We see a Reckoner coming down from Samwise.
Oh, it's a Burning Tree Emissary is what we saw discarded from Samwise's hand. So he's looking at a bunch of lands and
Isaac Smith just not wanting Sam to get that devotion online. Doomblade taking care of Boros Reckoner. Looks like this is kind of the same plan as last game. Remove all the threats, land threat like a Desecration Demon or a Pack Rat of your own, and go to town. You have Hammer of Perforos down there at the bottom from Samwise.
And a Desecration Demon from Isaac Smith, not bad here.
Not at all. It's going to stop most cards that Samwise can play from getting in haste off of that Hammer of Perforos. And we see Boros Reckoner here. That is a card that actually can attack through that Desecration Demon. Isaac Smith does have the option to trade it, however, if he so wishes.
Yeah, and this is kind of where Isaac may need to not swing with this demon, even though he's dealing 6 a turn. Sam is just going to be able to create golems, and then from there be dealing 6 a turn when Isaac's already at 15.
Right. So realistically, though, can he just sit back and deter those golems and take hits from the Boros Reckoner?
Yeah, I mean, I would probably play defensively here. Post board, I think Isaac probably has upwards to like 16 removal spells that all can take care of a most of which can take care of a Boros Reckoner. So I would definitely sit back on the Desecration Demon here.
Just if you have the answer already, play it. If he doesn't, just wait, deter damage, find a removal spell.
Definitely.
And because that Desecration Demon is going to hold off Samwise's team for the foreseeable future.
And of course, it depends on the hand he has. If he's sitting on a Gray Merchant, then by all means go to town. With that Desecration Demon, you're definitely going to be able to block a lot of damage there. But as it stands now, I think just not knowing what's Isaac's hand, I would play defensively.
Isaac in the tank, and he will be swinging with that Desecration Demon, dropping Desecration Demon number 2. So all of a sudden, Desecration Demon dropping Sam to 14. He's got 12 power and flyers. Potentially could finish the game with a Gray Merchant here.
Yeah, if we see a Chain of the Rocks here from Sam, I think we're definitely still in this game, though.
And we have Assemble the Legion coming down for Sam. Talk about answers to Desecration Demon. That may be the best one in Standard.
Yeah, and I think that's actually one of the main reasons that Mono Black is now running Golgari Charm is for that card specifically. It's very hard for them to deal with enchantments, and Golgari Charm is able to, of course, at instant speed destroy an enchantment for 2 mana. Very efficient, being able to get rid of the threats that they have most trouble with. But if we didn't get rid of the Hammer of Perforos, we're probably not going to be able to get rid of this Assemble Legion.
Right. So Samwise coming in with the Boros Reckoner. Isaac looks like he wanted to trade, but now he's thinking, maybe he thinks, hey, I'm going to need to get in that damage. Maybe Samwise just sacrifices the Reckoner to tap down 1 Desecration Demon, doesn't want to go to 2, get himself within, Gray Merchant range, because those Desecration Demons are going to be blanked very quickly by that Assemble the Legion. And it looks like Smith is just going to take the 3.
Yeah, he's just going to take 3 here, keep up his 2 Desecration Demons, hopefully be able to attack this turn. We will tap 1 down. And if Sam is able to survive this next couple of turns with the Assemble Legion in play, it's going to get real tricky for Isaac here.
Absolutely. That Assemble Legion just going to take care of the Desecration Demons extremely quickly. That's a Lifebane Zombie, though. That's a way to win. Samwise, no cards in hand, just running out the 3-1. And did he miss that Assemble Legion trigger? Oh, he's remembering here.
So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and give him his tokens.
Yep, casual FNM, remembering the trigger even after a tap, and still gonna go on the stack there and resolve.
And so we can still tap down both demons here. The Hammer Perforos being able to make a golem, but if we have a removal spell, this could be very troublesome for Sam.
And it's Ash Zealot for Samwise.
It's kind of actually
to be getting in here.
Free combat here, I think.
Oh, nope. Looks like Bile Blight's going to take care of that Ash Zealot. I believe that's Bile Blight. Is that Bile Blight?
I do believe it's Bile Blight.
An interesting thing this would be to save that Bile Blight and try to run out a bunch of soldier tokens, because it would give them all -3, -3, or -3. But no, opting to take care of that Ash Zealot right now, untapping with the Desecration Demons, using another Bile Blight, taking out the token.
And that should be game,
with the double Desecration Demons and the Lifebane Zombie. Samwise extends the hand. Isaac Smith winning 2 games to 1 in round 3. Mono Black over Red White Devotion.
Yeah, really sweet couple of games. We saw kind of a back and forth from both players.
Yep.
In game 2, Isaac just being able to devour flesh, keep him off Devotion, and just kind of take the game away there. And then in that last game, Isaac just, the Desecration Demons getting out of control. Having the removal spells, very timely removal spells, because in a couple, by next turn, he would be able to tap down the
that Assemble Legion just coming down maybe 1 turn too late. Isaac with all the removal, siding in, just killing everything, turning off Perforos in that second game, just not letting Isaac build up his Devotion, build up his forces.
We saw a lot of Devour Fleshes, a lot of Bile Blights those games.
A lot of Bile Blights, a lot of Devour Fleshes, a lot of Doom Blades.
Yeah.
We saw Yeah.
Just a lot of removal and really efficient creatures. Desecration Demon being a 6/6, good against almost every deck.
Yeah, I can't really think of a deck that really I would want to sideboard it out against.
I don't think that's a card you could sideboard out. I think it's too efficient.
Just too efficient.
Just too efficient. Yeah.
I know for me playing Red Green Monsters a lot, I play a lot of times I play like a Plukernos. There's just Desecration Demon out there. I'm just like, oh, why are my guys supposed to be bigger? It's a
Yeah.
Plukernos.
I'm playing
Not always.
green.
Green.
Come on.
And your guy's flying. No.
Why does it work like that?
So, yeah. Desecration Demon, man. Got a lot better after Lingering Souls left the format.
Yeah, Lingering Souls kind of shut that card down a little bit.
Yeah.
Any sort of token producer. All the token producer producing planeswalkers we had last standard, like Garruk,
Sorin.
Relentless, Sorin, Lord of Innistrad.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, even now I think
Huntmaster.
God, there's so many.
Oh, Huntmaster.
I miss Old
I
Standard.
miss Huntmaster.
I miss Huntmaster.
You could flip it.
Unburial Rights.
Oh, you could pot it, and then you could flip it because you didn't cast any spells.
You know, it was a crazy card. Bonfire of the Damned. Let us rethink about that.
I saw that recently in some 12 post decks in Legacy.
Yes.
And it made me happy.
It's actually pretty good. It just kind of makes the mana base really awkward. I've actually played with it.
Oh,
12
yeah.
post, yeah.
Oh,
It's-
Miracle it. 14.
You're dead now. It was kind of. I think it was there for like the really bad matchups like Elves because you just have trouble like
Just like, oh,
sustaining
I
your
cannot
life
beat
total.
like all these things.
Turn 3 natural order into like Craterhoof. Like you can't interact with it.
Right.
So Bonfire of the Damned is there to just kind of be like, I bonfire for 2. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, tiny dudes.
Oh.
Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the 12 post deck can just pretty much hard cast that card very easily, right?
Yeah.
A couple Cloud Posts.
Definitely. If
Volcanic Island.
it's just XX red, it's actually pretty reasonable to cast.
Yeah.
To cast.
Because Elves, 1, would kill a lot of things,
Yeah.
2, everything. So.
Definitely. So that was our round 3. We will be bringing you our round 4 here pretty shortly. I think they just finished up. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Dark Tower Games, downtown Bellingham. Streaming live FNM.
Yeah, we'll be coming back here very shortly.
Hey guys, we are back. We're going to have another round up for you shortly here. Round 4 at FNM Dark Tower Games. I'm just going to update our screen here.
So we have Jesse Panu.
How do you spell it? Yeah. The pro in here.
And we have Jazzeep is actually playing a 5-color control list. Kind of interesting. I was looking at it. The first 2 cards I saw were Watery Grave, a Johnny Mentor of Heroes.
Well, can tap for one of those 3 generic mana symbols. 5-color control. What do you think is in there, man?
I saw a bunch of like D-Spheres, War Leaders, Helix, Vraska the Unseen, bunch of Planeswalkers, Sylvan Caryatid for fixing, and then a Johnny and Corsair Krufix is kind of your card draw engines with like some Jace Architect of Thoughts as well.
So just 5-color incredible cards?
Yeah, 5-color, really good cards. Actually, like, the one card that I really like is just Vraska. That card just seems always really good. I think it's very undervalued
so many
right now.
Important cards to be able to kill nowadays, like Chain to the Rocks, you know, being able to turn off people's gods, killing Banishing Lights, Detention Spheres, Banish for Priests.
Did you hit start recording, or did I not hit stop?